So this phrase is being tossed around in recent times more than ever. Male loneliness. If you really think about it though, the way we structure our society, men are meant to suffer. Don't worry, I will disarm this thing a little bit, because people are not supposed to suffer. Aimlessly, rather. A little bit of suffering is gonna harden you as a person. Male loneliness might be as popular as the saying, nice guys finish last. But what if they last to finish? What if they're last to finish a test? You know? Doesn't that sound correct? That women constantly put you on a test? Technically, how much they can break you. And if they can get away with breaking someone else more, they're probably just gonna let you go, right? If like, well, I can't break your life apart for my benefits, I'll just handle my boyfriend right now, okay? That often sounds like their ultimate plan. So is this thing real? It's probably real and just a natural thing. Women in general are not problem solvers. They can just say yes or no. They have to make that critical decision, which actually should alleviate a lot of trouble, because you can just do whatever the fuck you want, right? Women get to make the decision, so until then, you let them block you, you let them yell at you, you let them ghost you, it doesn't fucking matter. It should still encourage you to do more and not less. To be more of yourself, not some version that women prefer, to try and like scientifically craft a version that manipulates women. No, women will find a way to break you for their own benefit. So the version that they prefer is a breakable version, is a version that they can take advantage of. If you're gonna serve that version to women, you play into their fucking trap. There are benefits to loneliness as well, but this is the general introduction. Nice guys finish last in attempt to ace the test. Patience is completely reasonable thing to use in the situations of distress. And self-improvement is likely more satisfying than an average relationship. There is some more stuff that I actually discovered, but we have to actually go through corporatism. I'm here to discuss capitalism. When we discuss corporatism, things fucking change drastically. When we talk about loneliness, corporatism talks about a whole different aspect of things, while capitalism says you can just consume your troubles away, right? Just go on a consumption streak. And you should, technically, again, get yourself blocked, get yourself ghosted. Just knock on every single woman's door, because they have to make that ultimate decision. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. They have to fucking spin their heads around and figure out as if it's worth, like, trying to take advantage of you, or maybe they actually open all of a sudden for a real relationship because they're starting to feel pain. They're starting to feel like there's no progress being made in their lives, right? If I was not offered a real relationship up to this point, but I know that shit is gonna start happening. I may have gotten myself at like 50%, 25% completion of getting a relationship, but the women that I actually hang out with were incompetent enough to screw things up really, really badly to where like nothing is possible with them anyways, right? If a woman shows incompetence, you know they can't say yes to you because they just can't deal with the consequence of saying yes. What those women want is guy approaching them and basically taking care of the whole situation or making things even easier for them because they can't handle the pressure. Like long distance relationship. Shit, I thought I was gonna list a counterpart to that. I'm not sure yet. Not sure what women have to deal with. You know, male loneliness is in the way right now. We're gonna actually react to these shit channels. This man right there that everyone is listening to, and this spam channel that's everywhere, and it's gonna explain everything to us, and we're definitely not gonna fucking yell of how stupid the content is surrounding this situation. So, loneliness is approached differently under these circumstances. Which approach do you want? There's an NPC approach, which is most of you guys. Well, men supposed to, like, when they level up, they now encounter corporatism. But naturally, women have to approach this, usually, to just consume themselves away, to not think. You know, that's why they have this feeling, I have to block this person, they make me feel a certain way, a certain negative way. So loneliness, when it enters your system, capitalism just wants to distract itself from bad feelings, right? So you buy a bag of chips and it's like, well, I'm not lonely. You watch a movie, you let someone else experience loneliness. You don't have to. You don't have to participate in life when you can observe other people live life, other people do things. Like, you have to constantly grind escapism from bad feelings, which can actually perpetuate loneliness because people want to cut you off because you feel bad. It feels bad to talk to this person over there. Wah. How does this change under corporatism? You realize you can have tiny relationships, even smaller than a friendship. Right? You can interact with people online. You can just simply appreciate that you have parents and they have their little relationships that you can tap into. Although that's some basic shit. How about rocket ship? How about rocket shipping celebrities and their content? Not just looking at the content for consumption, but looking at content as a way to get to know a person that is out there somewhere. They're alive. They have personalities, you know? They have their own shit going on, and they're trying to put out content. And now you're judging, is your content good or bad? Rocket shipping. Do you like this person or not? Because not every celebrity you're gonna like. That's the spicy thing about it. Some of them just put up a nice front, but they cannot be rocket shipped. All I'm saying is that corporatism tells you there's tiny relationships you can have to alleviate loneliness. You can still fill yourself up with marbles. You don't have to have a full meal, right? You don't have to be desperate. You don't have to look and be envious, or rather jealous, that other people have a relationship, a big relationship that takes a chunk of their lives. By the way, it takes a big commitment to perform something like that. And you might not even want that, because marbles allow you to freely take out 5 marbles, add in the other 5 marbles from somewhere else. You can keep fucking exchanging what kind of tiny relationships you want to have. You have full freedom to control your life. And you should not be jealous of other people who seem to all found a relationship. Because usually, again, most relationships look like they suck anyways, right? And again, the greatest thing of all time that I will keep repeating, if people have relationships and they don't want you to have a relationship, there's probably something wrong with relationships that you're aiming at. No one wants to share that relationship. No one wants you to have something because it's not good enough or it's too expensive, right? Too exclusive. So that fundamentally puts relationships into, like, they're kind of bad. People don't care about it that much. If people cared, like they would actually care about people who are left behind, who are lonely. They would actually care because, well, if you're lonely, you should date this person, right? People should be suggesting left and right, date this person, date that person. You're too lonely. You should be dating this person, right? It's not happening because there's something wrong with the relationship. There's something fundamentally broken if it doesn't spread positivity. It's almost like, it's kind of teenage love. People are still figuring out what it is in the first place. And some of them just settling down, but they're not, like, completely satisfied with their lives anyways. So they can only, like, encourage, hey, you should marry that person. They can only encourage certain amount that's already there. Of, like, if someone is playing Hearthstone, hey, you can play Hearthstone with me. They can encourage slight redirects, but they cannot give you a date if you're sort of an outsider. More tiny relationships. How about marketship? When I said you can go out and buy a bag of chips, think about what you're actually buying. You're buying something from someone. Yes, it's made in a factory. But these people are hardworking people. They want to know that you are enjoying their product, right? You're shipping something. And you're shipping a thing that you don't know what's going to happen when you open a certain bag of chips. You don't know how much you're going to like it, right? That's a relationship. That's a tiny relationship, and you can, try and predict how it's going to go, whether you're going to like the flavor or whatever. You can try so many different things just by going into a grocery store, one place, one market, and all of a sudden you have thousands of tiny relationships. Not only that, there's the service ship, because some people are serving things, so you can talk to them. And that also happens. People take that for a tiny relationship into their lives. Because every person who's working in the market is also a service person that you're going to see over and over again. And if you can be nice to them, get comfortable with them, maybe something happens, by the way. It keeps going. It keeps going. Like, you just have to, like, calm down and pay attention to what relationships really are, because even the tiniest ones actually make a difference. The problem is, however, we're not here to talk about corporatism. I'll throw spam ship in there, where you can just spam people, or spam all over the place, and if social media is good enough, they will notify you if someone found your spam interesting in some kind of way. And you can continue trying to drag the conversation, drag a person into, like, direct messages, and then furthermore, right, pinging them every day, and seeing when the relationship dies. A lot of things are possible. That's why you shouldn't feel lonely. You should get to fucking work, okay? And if you can just forget about loneliness without work, with just pure capitalistic consumption, that's fine too, okay? That's fine. You're busy going on trips, you're busy seeing certain things, going to certain events. Like, you can be busy and found yourself surrounded by people, and it's fine. At least if you mimic how women behave. But again, most men don't do that capitalistic solution, where it's like the easiest one, where consumption alone can get rid of, like, most bad feelings. But this is like the introduction I would give before someone clicks on shit like this. So let's find out what people are actually talking about and get very upset. I have released a game, and yes, it just kind of adds more to the loneliness. I got 5 downloads. Amazing. I have 2 ratings on this new game. Amazing, guys. I have 1 comment, but the comment is very cool, right? It shows that a person actually put in the time to play my game. Even a person at my skill level, like, I think I'm doing some successful, crazy thing that people should pay attention to, and it's not really happening, right? There's levels to this. You get slight amount of attention every single time you do something. Slight amount of attention, you have to evaluate what's going on, but it's so weird. So, very often, it's very weird how you have to keep going. You have to keep working. The better you do, the more attention you get, but you also have to position yourself properly where people can actually find you. A lot of games, like in GMTK, are submitted very early. I was able to make my own game in like 1 day, technically. Submit it and see what actually happens. What people do when I submit a game very early, because like there's only 1,000 entries. Maybe it's more like 500 when it first starts. So your game could actually, get filtered to the top where people are actually engaging. You don't know how to crack the system yet. You have to be able to crack the fucking system, try different things that seem like they could actually work. If you're desperate, that is. If you're not desperate, take it slow. Be patient, of course. Don't worry about this shit, right? Live that experience of, being neglected. But people cannot neglect you forever as well, because your skill level is constantly rising and you're appearing in more and more spots in more competent ways. At some point, a person has to connect the dots and be like, oh shit, this guy's doing this many things actually. That's why the quality might be not 100%, but what if he actually tried? What if I actually give feedback? Feedback changes everything. And again, I haven't pulled off my ace yet. The biggest thing that I can pull is still under wraps. So I still am very positively, oriented that I can impress humanity as a whole, and my life will be fine. People who are wasting their lives and don't know what to do to self-improve, that is insane to me. You have to have some kind of direction in life of what you're improving. You can have multiple directions. I pick 4 topics every single year to focus on. And you have seen that on my channel. And it's never going to stop. 4 topics, 2 dramas. It's solid, bro. It keeps me going, and it's almost too much work. Sometimes when you put yourself on a directional path, you can work a lot faster, right? When you give yourself a deadline, when you just do it, you can find yourself working really fast all of a sudden. Give yourself a theme, and all of a sudden you fucking grinding that theme. You feel employed. So there's so many ways to deal with this. There's no reason to actually care much. You shouldn't find time mourning about your loneliness, because again, loneliness comes with the benefit of freedom. You can do whatever you want. You're not going to be disrupted. Disruption is the worst thing. Even rocket shipping, you caring about celebrities can be disrupted. Very much so, right? Because the other person is going to say, well, I don't care about celebrities. It's what the fuck am I supposed to do with that commentary, bro? I don't care about this person or that person. So, okay, I guess let's not talk about it, right? Just let me do this thing. But just a little bit disruption, just one friend can make so much disruption in your life. Well, you could be doing this, without any worries, right? And you'll move faster in life sometimes when you cut people off that literally want to be cut off anyways, right? So what the fuck is the point? Like, if you start yapping and if you start being honest, people will fucking ditch you really fast. They can't handle that. They can't handle the fame that comes with it. Because if you're yapping, they have to introduce you to their friends. And narcissists are the ones that survive the longest without introducing their friends because they feel like they're big enough, they're strong enough, they're smart enough to fucking keep up, and they're fucking dumbasses, right? The longer you yap, the more a person has to introduce about their lives, the more stuff they have to commit. It's almost like when you play a card, it's permanently played. Now you have to come up with another card to play. Eventually you're gonna run out of cards, right? So just talking to someone, eventually there's an ending to that. Whoever ends the talking first, it's like a staring contest, that person loses. And you have to keep sacrificing pieces of yourself until something breaks and all of a sudden you're introducing a whole new person to try and back you up in the conversation. It's such a weird dynamic, but a lot of people break that fact, and you should be constantly nagging them to like introduce your friends. Just keep them coming. You should start introducing like this like neurotic behavior of like, well, because a lonely person cannot introduce their friends, by the way. I'm fucking stalemated, but a lonely person is gonna be likely way bigger in terms of like how much experience they can actually gather, right? And how much they can adapt for the conversation in the first place, for the relationship. A person who is distracted, they might be able to throw something in there from their distractions, but it's like it might not actually suit the conversation. So there's that dynamic too that I had to live through, and all of a sudden the two big narcissists that I had a relationship with fucking lost the game, lost the plot. They don't want to introduce their friends desperately, you know? They feel like they're cornered when they have to do that. So that's one huge factor that's actually feeding loneliness right now, is test people. Are they introducing their friends to you or not? Because that's a huge factor. Not even narcissists, even psychopaths have tendency to be really upset when they introduce you to someone. They get really fucking protective and upset. And they bail. They use that chance to like, oh no, I'm not introducing you to a friend, I'm replacing myself with this other person that's probably shittier than me, and they just bail, bro. They fucking run as far as they can away from you. These psychopaths, it's so weird. Their behavior is so weird. But when you actually ask them to introduce you to their girlfriend or something, they get so fucking mad of like, you're going after my girlfriend. What are you doing? Why is it always this pattern with you? Like, you're always doing this. It's like, well, she's your girlfriend. Introduce me. That's it. Like, don't take it too seriously. However, if it's someone I liked prior to your stupid relationship, don't worry about it. I will chase after her, for my own reasons. And you can't fucking control those factors. It's so crazy, right? You should be actually happy that you brought this person into close vicinity. That you made them available. Like, I will be grateful for that. And yet, psychopaths just see problems, not positivity, when they have to introduce friends. And they often, again, lie and lean onto friendship to, like, bail them out of, like, no, I don't want to hang out with this person anymore. And they lean, and they make a fucking mess, too. So I had to go through, like, really long-lasting, disgusting, psychopathic relationship. that became extremely ugly when a girlfriend was introduced. Because, I forced him to do the right thing, essentially. Because psychopaths have, they're resistant to everything until you force them to do it. Until you repeat it enough times, and then it's like, okay, fine. Just talking to people is dramatic as fuck when you realize they don't want to introduce you to anything. They just want to win the conversation all by themselves, even though you might be lonely and you need a lot of attention to be able to be defeated. Often enough, people just gonna ghost you based on gossip alone. They might have seemed nice, but they heard a little bit of gossip, and they look the other way. Let people destroy themselves. That's what relationships are for. To see people destroy themselves, right now more than ever. Let them do that. You can handle it. That's the whole point. You must be able to handle it, because otherwise you take damage from something that you should be able to handle. Alright, let's fucking go. Let's trash these stupid channels.
There's a lot of discussion on the internet about male loneliness.
See, that's the funny thing. That's where loneliness is exaggerated on the internet. Women don't know how to use internet. They just get a lot of attention from a lot of places, and they're fine with it. Man, they're trying to chase women, and they get rejected, and now they're lonely. But it's still women's fault. They should be able to know how to decipher a bad man from a good man, so they can focus on the good man, eventually. But they're not doing that. They're just bathing in attention, and it's destroying everyone's lives as a result. All men just become more and more upset that women have no ability to actually play the game that they're playing. What women have to do, really precisely, is elimination process. The bad actors, they pop out of the ground after rain like little fucking worms. You don't have to worry about really finding the odd one out, because they always present themselves. But the question, of course, is oddity good or bad? Because sometimes people tend to level themselves into being just normies, fucking nobodies, doing a bunch of nothing, basically, doing very minimal effort just to fucking get attention, just to pretend that they participated, right? They want all the participation trophies. They're spammers, basically, and they can get away with it sometimes. They can get lucky sometimes. Those people are the first ones to be eliminated. People who cheat the system should be eliminated. And when women start doing that and cultivating the relationships that they have and focusing on the better ones, leaning on the better ones, rewarding people for actually doing the good thing, for actually winning something, when they start doing that, well, they will finally learn how to use the fucking internet, because they get more attention than men, period. And all we have to do here is just be envious of women. That's all we can do, because we don't get that attention. We're not sexy and attractive. We're not initiating relationships, right? Women do. And again, all you have to realize, women don't know how to use the internet yet. Maybe TikTok generation will know how to use the internet. TikTok generation will drag more people into the social media, that from all kinds of ages. A generation doesn't have to be youngsters. Generation is just a different way of presenting things, where more people can join in, because it's a cheaper way to do it. So YouTube generation was not able to pull this off. YouTube and Instagram generation. TikTok might actually split into two different categories, for designed for dating, for women platform and male platform. It might split into two. TikTok is still undefined in that sense. It started as a female platform, then evolved more into like a male-driven platform where all of a sudden now we get to discuss male loneliness because TikTok has shifted instead of actually splitting, which would have solved the fucking problem. TikTok has to like learn to split itself off. Give women a platform, give men a platform. That will start pushing them into the next generation. All TikTok basically has to do is care about relationships. Right now, YouTube and Instagram generation has taken care of relationships to some extent, where you can send people messages, and some people will actually read them. That's all you get, okay? Sometimes you can even cause a little bit of a drama. That's all you get. You have to deal with it and continue collecting subscribers, because subscriber count is what gives you the please subscribe. Subscribe to boost my integrity, so people see that I have put effort. Simple as that. You don't have to even watch my videos, just give me a reward that can help the other person decide of like, yeah, it's worth listening to that guy over there. It's fine. I'll be fine. Right? You can unsubscribe at when I irritate you too much. I upload daily, I understand. Well, not really daily, but usually daily. Somewhere, somehow, I'm uploading something. Alright? Don't worry about that. This is what you want. But you also want to, like, not gain subscribers in some degenerate ways. The way that I'm doing it, I don't know. I think it's pretty, well, it's something. I still want to, like, upgrade my microphone setup, though. If it's possible. I will have to, like, really converse with AI about it. There's gotta be another way. Then I feel completely secure in how I present my content. When people actually hear a soothing voice.
And how it is at an all-time high, with millions.
That's not a soothing voice. Why is it millions of views? Oh, it's not. See? See, you have to have that voice, though. So you will immediately feel vomit in your mouth.
What is causing this crisis to happen? If you identify as male, this video...
If you identify as male...
I'll give you some insights. As we make our way through this video, even if you don't identify as male, consider...
Even if you don't identify as male... Oh, that's so cute. Again, that's capitalism. It's identity capitalism. It's a normie bullshit. You can consume it if it helps. You alleviate bad feelings. People tend to do that. They go into like lesbian relationships, and all of a sudden pisses me off. Pisses me off. Like what is that? But they do that to alleviate pain. They consume bullshit things, including relationships and sex, to feel better about themselves. Okay? They position themselves in different ways so they can get to consume more things. That's the full explanation of what's actually going on. The identity politics? No. It's just consumption. A consumption booster is an identity. It's the way you present yourself. The things you want to consume in that moment is your identity. It's pretty obvious if you think about it. And it's definitely tied to capitalism. Am I going to talk about it extensively? Probably not. Until I get attacked by someone from LGBTQ 2A plus minus 67.
Job security can give us hope for our relationships, money to support these relationships, and even...
Well, it's basically the same thing. Loneliness and no jobs. I mean, it's the same thing as approaching a woman is the same way as approaching a job. Finding a girlfriend is the way as difficult as finding a job. They're the same difficulty for some reason. It's hard to tell why. Are they conjoined where, like, if you get a good job, then you're going to be attractive to women? Questionable, actually. You might be surrounded by women. I went to a school where I was surrounded by women, and I was almost, like, approached, basically, by them. I had a job where I had to work next to women, and again, sort of approached, but she had a boyfriend and it immediately disappeared. Who cares, right? But it's such a funny factor when you think about it. When I had a job where I was like going towards it, all of a sudden there's more women in the way. It's kind of weird. When you choose to be unemployed, you're also not experiencing a lot of like outside world, and women don't come by to say hi no more. And again, you shouldn't actually write off relationships. Every relationship matters because again, they eventually have to introduce their friends, and all of a sudden their friends can introduce you to a different friend. And a nice person, a good person is going to introduce you to a friend that you need in your life eventually. Eventually, you can dig yourself into a job or into a good relationship. You know how, right? Just keep going through people, and people will offer you something eventually, something valuable. It should come naturally, but not every person is a good person. That's the problem. It takes a long time to see what they're going to do, what they're going to end up doing. Are they going to crash and burn instead of introducing another person? Instead of offering you a better job? Or are they gonna figure it out? Or that it's a good thing to do very, very quickly? You gotta study life itself to be able to crack down on the system. And again, if you want to be exploited, yes, offer women money. They will come at you of like, okay, how much money you gonna give me? They're gonna approach relationship from that angle. However, if you expect women to, well, feel bad, and you are the solution, you're going to comfort them and take care of them, and they don't have to think about just the money part, it could actually overwhelm them, rather. It's almost like you are going for the CEO position in a job. You skip all the fucking garbage, and you prove yourself to be one of the better assets. You skip all the way to the top. That is a real player right there. There's a lot of people in the bottom level interacting with each other, doing a lot of sloppy things. There's a lot of people down there in the brain rot level. They're just doing a lot of random things. Okay? Why should you care? You're only going to get in trouble when dealing with those people. You know that. I had to ban a lot of people from my channel. Okay? They're trying to drag down the energy where it doesn't belong, all right? And all of a sudden, when you drag yourself down, you're not going to find anything. Nothing long-lasting is there in the first place. People who are long-lasting, they're happy to be there every now and then. So because this kind of involves relationships, having a job is a relationship, it's basically the same thing. It's a very beneficial relationship for you to have a job.
Job and a steady income? How could they even afford to see their friends or take someone out on dates? If you've seen a lot of videos or memes about male loneliness...
Yeah, I do assume that men don't actually admit to be lonely because they're capable of dealing with pain in some degenerate ways sometimes. Just lie to themselves. Well, I am definitely lonely. Is in some way. If you can rocket ship without anyone disrupting you, you're lonely. If you have no friends, you're technically lonely. In the technical term, right? If you're not married, if you don't have a girlfriend, you're single. So in technical term, if you don't have friends, you're lonely. You're left alone. So loneliness is more like if you try to define it from the outside point of view, yeah. That's what it is. Like, you either have friends or not have friends. When it comes to the subjective feeling of loneliness, is can you handle it? Can you handle the pressure of being lonely? Because again, another part of consuming material is education, is working on yourself. That will also distract you from being lonely. Like, I'm technically talking to an invisible audience. That's cool. That's justified. Because in the end of the day, I actually released the video to the public, you know, to be scrutinized if they choose so. But this allows me to non-ironically just stand there and yap That's good. Like, there's no disruption in me making videos. If I had too many friends, I would have a problem making videos. Like, you must understand, friendship takes a lot of maintenance, and you have to get benefits from friendships. Women learn that, very quickly, that they need benefits, but they learn it in a very rough fashion.
rather than providing practical help. Romanticizing loneliness. With the perceived rise in male loneliness, there has also been a rise in media that reflects this change.
I mean, everyone is romanticizing struggle in general, and this is the most romantic thing, as if someone's single and lonely. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's the most obvious thing.
49 are
You gonna yap about it, though?
cultural touchstones.
Again, you can see they're fucking reaching. They don't know what the fuck to do, and they're just, like, looking around of, like, what do I consume? Loneliness. They're just doing research, basically, running around across the internet. Who said loneliness? Who said loneliness? Please talk to me. I hate these channels, but, we're gonna hate this guy for a different reason, potentially. Surprise, surprise, there's different levels. Survive the social level, just hanging around other people, just knowing that other people exist can be pretty difficult. You start brain rotting on being evil. Poking people in the evil ways. When you stop doing that, you start conversation level. When you learn to do conversations, you go into dating level. Meeting with people properly. Alright? When you go through that, you can finally go into that sexual relief level. But you have to go piece by piece, properly, to reach the top. If you're gonna go desperately, you're gonna crash and burn. You're gonna waste a lot of resources trying to get there every single time. And you're gonna have a sloppy outcome every single time anyways. Right? You're gonna hang out with shitty people who project that, well, that's the best they can do, and it's like, well, we can just together do the sexual thing and it's gonna be fine. And it's not that deep, though. You guys can't even have a conversation yet. But those are the levels. You're not skipping around. You try to master it properly. So it becomes your identity instead of an addiction. If you do things properly, it's not an addiction anymore. Because you're fully in control. So which level are you at? Are you still struggling about other people's existence? I can always open up myself for a conversation if you want to prove to yourself that you can have conversations. Yeah? I'm always open.
With movies and TV, hope for connection. Porn replaced sex, and video games replaced real human interaction.
Porn replaced... What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this, bro? Porn replaced sex? You would not get sex anyways. Porn is just sex education anyways. It's not that bad. Something to look forward to when you grow up.
Movies and TV.
And yes, me being 30, no sex. Maybe dating. Maybe dating. No sex, though. I can't wait. Maybe dating, though. We'll find out. Porn replaced sex is such a fucking miscalculation.
TV shows centering around people who...
In fact, porn replaced loneliness. Because there's something you can consume to distract yourself. Fucking awesome. Alright? And you can binge quite a long time to solve that, icky sticky problem. Why not enjoy it? Why feel bad about it? Because this channel fucking sucks. And it actually constantly tells you the same fucking thing. Stop masturbating. It's fucking propagandizing this shit so damn much.
We all want different things in life, fall down the wrong rabbit holes. Communities like the incel community have formed around this exact process. Unfortunately, despite being a community based on the issue of male loneliness, the incel community provides nothing to heal male loneliness.
Definitely provides drama. I mean, I want to know when I would get banned from their Discord, if anything. But I'm too lonely to go to their Discord all by myself. Oh, what am I gonna do? If only there was someone. This is my new propaganda. Uh-oh. If only there was someone to go with. No. No, we're not going to Epstein Island.
Handful will only
until you're 18.
make things work. Find your motivation for socializing again. If you're disheartened by romance and find that romantic love doesn't motivate you, try making friends first. It's important.
That was a loaded fucking bag. You obviously make friends first, but okay. If romantic love doesn't motivate you, like, what the fuck does that mean? What audience are you
Or do
talking
you make
to?
friends that are healthy for you?
Probably people who don't masturbate no
Joining a
more.
community like the incel community won't help.
Shut the fuck up already.
If you can have
To me, incel community is so fascinating because what if one of them gets taken, you know? That's so dramatic. Such a dramatic moment. You have received sex from a female. You are out. You do not belong in this community anymore. That's fucking awesome.
have a really just be casually.
Like, bonding over poverty is actually the exact thing you're supposed to be doing. You should bond with people who don't have the same thing, who are fighting for the same thing, for one day to have that, right? I never had $100 in my hands. Fight for alongside people for something. It's just that simple. The LARPing community is a community of people who want subscribers because they're poor. They can't afford subscribers, you know? They don't have 1,000 friends, actually. You have to recognize, is the community about poverty of something? And then you can realize that it's not that bad, as the propagandist channel is trying to fucking tell you. Don't masturbate, don't enter incel community, shut the fuck up.
Inviting your friend. If there is something that you're unsatisfied with in your life, the best thing you can do is work on improving yourself.
No, the best thing I can do is attempt to delete this channel. That will feel like an
Something out of your
improvement.
control. Way up.
And every single
Mental
time,
illness is getting in your way. Take one thing at a time and seek help and advice.
seek help every single time in these motherfucking videos. Get a load of this dude. He's back.
And then I just posted 2 videos, and then this same guy read a lot of the feedback from women, and it was horrible. They were celebrating the fact that men are 3 times more likely to commit suicide.
Yeah, I mean, it's so fucking weird that they just don't care. But again, people love exercising freedom in your face so much. They don't care how much damage it causes in the moment. Until they wake up one day and they realize that their life is falling apart. They cannot find anyone that cares for them anymore. People who don't care, they bleed resources really fast. And they also cut relationships with potentially successful people who take their time to build success, long-lasting success.
Attitude.
Yeah, you can definitely encounter a lot of disgusting women out there, but you don't know who they are either. The best you can do is just block and move on. You don't know who they are. They could be fucking cripples, destroyers of the world. I literally saw a TikTok where it's just like, literally a cripple convention of blue-haired hedgehogs in their fucking wheelchairs. Those could be the women who are just like taking a piss because it's so easy for them. They have nothing else to do but to trash the internet, to dump their fucking emotions on the internet. You don't know who you're dealing with. So the best thing you can do is toss careless people into the fucking trash.
I don't know.
Like a person in your family, you still have to play a role for them. Because you'll have to encounter them over and over again. You don't want drama to expose you of how careless you are to a family member. So you have to think about it. What distance allows people to do. How freedom fucking escalates on the internet. Over how anonymous they want to be as well. You have to check how anonymous are they, how many subscribers they have. All these things matter in a situation like that when you're being laughed at, basically. Because you're technically in control when you post a video to toss people in the trash. You are obligated to do that for your mental health. To not care about people who don't care. You know, because those are their rules. They set themselves up for that.
Not equal.
That's a pretty good
You want to be
example.
equal, And the only way you can get equal is to band together and tear him down so that you can be at his level. You're not equal.
Yeah, women tend to do that as well. They try the fucking last resort of trying to pull you down somehow. Pull you down, nerf your behavior because you're doing too much. Never fall to anyone's level. Be yourself. In that situation, nah. Never fall. Because people are supposed to work the way out, not try to work against you.
In Menso 70, it's the only Perdomo cigar.
Yes, he started talking about cigars, though. Obviously. Do you know why I hate this channel?
I've ever
Now,
purchased that disappointed me. I bought a box of them.
look at my cigar now. Talking about loneliness. I got myself a fucking neighbor noisemaker episode. Episode X. Episode Max. Every single neighbor tried to cause noise already. That's how bad it is. Every single neighbor tried to see what they can get away with. It's fucking ridiculous. Everyone identify themselves as evil until proven otherwise. What a fucking nightmare. You're not lonely. You're surrounded by evil, stupid people. Usually it's a true statement where, like, evil people are more lonely than good people. Evil people end up in a situation where they cause drama. And they're not lonely as a result, but the drama is fake. It's not necessary. And my, like, goodness outweighs the evil of everyone else. You know, I have to sit on the opposite end of the scales. And the problem is I can just move. I can just go somewhere and all of a sudden they just cause a havoc with each other instead.
It's better to be by yourself than it is to be with a bad man.
Yes, you guys have to appreciate if you have no problems coming from neighboring parties. If you can live an easy life and you get a controlled version of drama. That's way more easier to handle than being stuck in a place and bombarded from every angle. Except the roof, because no one lives at the rooftop. Thank God, right? They would probably bother me anyways. People bother me in front all the time as well. Every direction except the roof, because nobody cares to fucking do anything on the roof. But they wanted to. They really wanted to. They were gathering money to do that.
Not that person anymore, and you're not in that place anymore. But if you're with yourself, and yourself is always beating you up, you're not going to want to be with yourself.
That's an interesting one. I feel like women beating themselves up a lot. I highly encourage people to consume Scott Pilgrim lore, because there's a fight against himself in there. There's a lot of, like, very relevant things, or rather references. Was that a reference to facing loneliness as well? That's a really weird moment, because, like, he was winning. He just won the boss fight. Why would he feel lonely? But technically, it kind of makes sense to be confronted by loneliness before you get the success that you deserve. That's the only time he can face loneliness. Past that point, he's not supposed to dwell on it. He got what he wanted, you know? He chose the girl. And he kind of made friends with the guy right before he made that choice. It was such a weird, interruptive thing, but I guess it makes sense to some extent. You also want to face the dark side of yourself because you will enjoy not dealing with yourself as much, right?
I don't have the desire to, and I do not have the right to try to change my wife's personality and who she is. I don't have the right to change anybody.
I mean, you can still attempt, though. Yes, you can change yourself, most importantly. It's a good starting point. To recognize, like, fight with yourself, if that comes up, it is a worthwhile thing to do. If one piece of you wants something more out of life, and the other piece doesn't want to take responsibilities, you send that shit into a battlefield and see which side wins. You're not just one person, you're an amalgamation of decision making. And sometimes there's a piece of you that you neglected that might strike back anyways. And you can simulate the same shit with other people as well. Don't try to project like this fucking independence. We're all dependent on each other, so you can put pressure if you have the right to do so.
Out there I don't like, and if I don't like them, I just walk away. I'm 55 years old. I've done without that person my whole dang life. I don't need them now.
Well, that's the usual thing to do.
I don't have the right, but if I don't like me,
there's nowhere to go. You have to fix the problem. You have to face it. There's nowhere to go.
I'm not comfortable being with me.
You appears when you burn out all the resources, by the way. And the only thing you're left is pain, right? You burnt your resources, you burn your energy, and now it's just pain, and you're basically cornered. What do? You have to transform. Yes, going this direction is the being with yourself transformation. Everyone is with themselves for a certain amount of time, but you have to be a significant amount of time to make the transformation.
Answers, I don't know, but maybe there's a little bit.
This video probably didn't provide any answers.
Maybe
that's very true.
There's a little seed,
Maybe there's a little seed though. Hopes and dreams, my old man. Hopes and dreams.
You know what? Let me add one.
Evil women, they don't fucking even comprehend how difficult it is to be a man. That it's all about difficulty. It's all about raising the stakes. They always chase the easy life first, as best as they can. They don't care about difficulty. They can't comprehend it sometimes. But that's very unempathetic. That's very unaware. And this is the way you can judge women, of how much they are aware. How difficult men's lives can actually get. Because while I'm taking responsibility, my mom is just fucking rotting in her couch, basically. I can't rely on her to do fucking nothing. Because she wants the easy shit. But she doesn't earn respect as a result.
And you stand strong. You be a strong man. You be a good man. And you just let the world rage around you.
That's the godlike principle. To let people waste their energy around you. Now, it's different, right? When evil comes into play, you flip the script and you attack the evil. But other than that, you let the world run around, waste their energy, fucking achieve nothing, basically, because you can still take it from them. You can still confront them and take it from them. You can still convince them otherwise that they don't actually deserve what they have earned. It's still possible. The possibilities are fucking endless. That's another godlike skill, is to just hold high esteem. Such high esteem that there is not a thing that they can throw at me. There's not a thing in existence that can back them up. They can send the government at me. They can do whatever. They can send their friends. There's not a single concept that can defeat me. Besides the other person also being just as esteemed or established, or I'm in their fucking territory. Basically, I'm at odds with their ownership of things, and can't beat them. But in normal circumstances, not a single NPC can beat me anymore. They can only be my enemy and choose to stay that way, which is a miraculous thing to do. Because I don't know how much my life is gonna shift. Should I give this to Pewds, though? This is one of the first YouTube elites. The NPC overlords. We just said NPCs can't get me. Well, there's one guy. He's about to hit 10,000. That's why I'm glitching around about it. These shady YouTubers have never been lonely, by the way. It kind of helps them keep going and keep a clean image. Because when you're needy in any way, people tend to, like, write you down. Of like, oh, poor dude, what are you gonna do now? They can fucking tease you and stomp your dreams all of a sudden just because you're in a disadvantage. You don't have something, so you're actually chasing after something. And now everyone has the thing you want, technically, and they don't want to give it to you. They want to fucking tease you, make fun of you, basically. Have PewDiePie had to face the word lonely?
Back to where you were.
Because I have to face the word YouTube sucks.
Let's go.
I got cans. This somehow was notorious to like see the PewDiePie's taste in music. It definitely like exposed him as like, well, that's weird taste. You like licking ass?
Ah! You know, some people saw PewDiePie trending and they were like, yes. We got him now! He's cancelled! Let's see what everyone. The new.
I would normally dedicate a whole episode for 10,000 milestone, but he's gonna be sacrificed like a blood sacrifice for the male loneliness. That's right.
Which is out.
Because he was never lonely.
It's something I've been hiding for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, guys, I don't actually listen to music. I listen to someone else's music because they rape me with it. There's very different responses based on how people cause drama, like how long the drama is gonna fucking last. Very different responses based on like what level of personality I have. If I'm a fucking weakling, I'm not even sure. I would probably attempt to move out as fast as I can. It's fucking bail. Slightly stronger personality. There's no way I can actually like outlast the noise. But for me to confront other people and to shut things down really fast, that is godlike level. And they do tend to just like listen and it's like, what the fuck? Are you evil or what? Or you just didn't know? You didn't know what you're doing. Should I have to deal with addition to PewDiePie? So, I'm just saying.
God damn it. It's not, these are like LGBT, maybe? I don't know. I don't listen to music based on
I don't know.
the artist. Like, I listen to him anymore. I can't listen to that if PewDiePie ears is listening to it as well. Okay.
Caro bonito. The real question is how long am I gonna survive this crash? Crash me with trash.
Bounce, 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 bounce. 飛び上がれ. Okay?
Alright, that sucked. I feel like PewDiePie loves when others don't put enough effort on purpose. Purposefully not putting effort, basically. That's pretty gay if you ask me. That sounds like a gay thing. That sounds like a male loneliness. You just didn't put effort, buddy. On purpose. There's a very big difference when you are lonely because people don't like you anymore. People can't handle you anymore. People can't take it. It's very different. Versus you haven't tried to talk to them. I mean, at least try. Someone's gonna give you a shot. You might even be surprised. Like, I literally was able to talk to the prettiest girl in the school, maybe second to the top. And it's like, okay, but she has a boyfriend, but I was able to talk to her, and that's all that matters. And she has the coolest friend group, too. So I'm like, wow. That's a thing now. We're doing a thing. She accepted my friend request. The thing is happening. The thing that I was hoping for. That the most attractive people are also nice. You know? You don't know until you try. Most importantly, you can't just wait. Yeah, PewDiePie's into amateur music. There you go. Gays are amateurs. If anything. If there's, like, self-proclaimed amateur, congratulations on your 10,000 points, PewDiePie. Now shut the fuck up. Unless you want to trash Mr. Beast with me, be my guest.
Yeah, no, I
Then. Oh my god, she's dating!
to that Japanese place.
The funny thing is, I'm at the point where, like, I don't want just conversations, I want to date people. Secretly, I'm capable of even, like, the maximum level. Alright, there's the sexual stuff. I'm capable, but we don't have to do that if they don't like it, you know, if they can't handle it. If they can't go that far. Uh-oh, the date is going wrong!
So you...
Dude, talking about female loneliness, get out of here. Women are the ones who have to worry about their beauty fading away. They'll start panicking anytime now. But you also have to knock on their doors so they accidentally panic straight into your arms. How beautiful. And they might still not be able to make you feel anything because there might be trash. So, but you still have to be there for them. You have to put a lot of effort. You can spread it around though, okay? You can spread it around. It's your responsibility to do that. If you do everything correctly, I don't think loneliness doesn't get solved just like that, right? You can keep yourself busy, you can keep yourself entertained, you can find tiny relationships, you can fight the monster, and most importantly, capitalism is creating this sort of environment where people are free to not bond in any way. They have the freedom to do so, but that's the cost of freedom, is causing loneliness onto other people. See you guys next time.